Hey, this is Shane from Shane Synthol. I'm here today with Carrie, one of our senior attorneys here. And we're going to talk about one of our recent client victories. I always like to talk about when one of our attorneys is able to help a client just above and beyond the normal. And Carrie, tell us about this particular case. What happened and how was it?
Well, GA came into our office, just came by one day and heard about our office and wanted some help. He had been working with another attorney on this case and wasn't happy with the communication. And he literally just stopped by our office and walked in and said, "Can I speak to someone?" And we spoke, and he ended up signing on with our firm. He was with his family in the Charlotte area on an interstate and was rear-ended at a high speed by a tractor trailer.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. And he was a passenger in the car. Because they were going so fast, they pushed his vehicle into the guardrail, damaging the guardrail.
So that was one of the vehicles. When you see the guardrails and see all the scrapes all along it,
Yes.
that was them.
Yes, they were happy the guardrail was there because otherwise it would have been really, really bad. Unfortunately, though, the tractor trailer left the scene.
Oh, wow.
Just got out of Dodge. As a lot of people know, it takes sometimes a while for the highway patrol to get to your location after an accident.
Yeah.
And by the time they got there, that tractor trailer was long gone.
Were they able to get the information for that particular truck, or no, the tractor trailer was just gone?
Nothing. We had nothing. They were injured, especially GA. He was taken to the local hospital and was diagnosed with a bunch of broken ribs. He was in a lot of pain. And
I bet.
yeah, anyone with broken ribs knows that's very painful.
I was going to say, I've had broken ribs, and I thought it was pretty painful when it happened to me.
Yeah, there's really not a lot of treatment they can do. You just have to let them heal.
Yeah, and which is always frustrating in our industry because people expect big bills for bigger settlements, but broken ribs, there's almost no treatment. Years ago, they used to say wrap them, but now they don't even say wrap your ribs. So it's just painkillers, basically, and rest.
And this client he didn't want to take painkillers. So I think he was doing some maybe over-the-counter medicine and whatnot. But his concern was that he just got rear-ended and thrown into a guardrail by a tractor trailer that left the scene.
Yeah.
So we had to pursue an insurance company to get him the settlement. And we had to find an insurance company to proceed against.
Okay. So I did, a little more work than the normal, just to basically find some kind of compensation for GA for his broken ribs, right?
Right, and I think that's why he showed up at our office one day, is that he felt maybe he wasn't getting the answers from that other firm. They were kind of at a standstill, and he really wanted some answers and wanted to know if we could help. So what we did is we did what we call an uninsured motorist claim.
Okay.
And this policy of the car they were in was a little bit unusual. It was an out-of-state policy, not from North Carolina or South Carolina. And there were actually two policies. So he came in thinking he had what we call a 50-100 policy.
Okay.
So he could recover up to $50,000, everyone in the vehicle $100. So it was him and two of his family members.
Okay.
So him and his family members walked in thinking that the most they could get was $100,000.
Right. Total. Everybody combined. They thought they'd have to split up the $100,000.
And he was concerned that he had his injuries and his family had their injuries. So we opened a claim, did some research. Well, the state that this policy was in allowed us to stack, like South Carolina.
And what's stacking? What is that?
So there were two cars on the policy, and we were allowed to get 50 from one and 50 from the other.
Okay.
And North Carolina doesn't necessarily allow that unless you have separate policies. It gets a little...
Different policy numbers, basically.
Correct.
So if you've got different policy numbers, you can probably stack. But if you've got the same policy number that covers everything, you can't stack in North Carolina.
Correct. So I received notice of that. I wanted to turn his case around as quick as I could because he had broken ribs. That was the extent of his injury. Fortunately, his neck and back were pretty good. He didn't need much treatment. So my goal was to try to get him his money as soon as possible.
Right.
Ordered those ER records, got it all in, and submitted a demand. And he was real happy when we had a settlement of $100,000 instead of $50,000.
Right, yeah, because that was the most. He thought his whole family was going to have to split the 100.
Correct.
And then when he got 100, then there was more left over for the rest of them. I'm sure it was ecstatic, right?
Very happy and grateful. And meanwhile, his family their injuries were a little different, and that case is still going on. But he was real happy that we doubled his money.
And doubled his money, and he was real glad he decided to stop by, huh?
Yes, and he was happy with the communication. Came in, he was able to speak to an attorney that day. We kept him informed, and we got the case done.
And that's what we try to do with every one of our clients, is move their cases along as fast as we can, and then good communication so they know what's going on and can make the right decisions.
And his case moved quicker because it was basically just emergency room treatment only. Those cases move quicker. Now, with our clients that have more extensive treatment that require long-term care, those take a little bit longer. But every case should have a goal, and the goal of this case was to try to get it to him as quick as possible.
All right. Sounds like he was happy about it.
He was.
All right. Did he tell you what he was going to do with that extra money?
He did not.
He did not, huh?
No.
Just takes some extra time for his broken ribs, huh?
He was just happy that he got his money, and I'm just glad I was able to get it for him.
Well, I'm glad you took that call, or not call, but took that meeting, surprise meeting, and I'm sure he's glad he got you for that just drop-in meeting. Sounds like a great client victory, and he was lucky to have you as his lawyer.
Thanks.
And for all our listeners, hit like and subscribe down below for more client victories. And remember to click the bell for notifications. And if you're in pain, call Shane, 980-999-9999.
In pain, so I call Shane. 980-999-9999. In pain, call Shane.